This is too succinct. We just went the other direction.
Exactly.
Went the other direction.
I have no idea what this up and running in 3 steps. I don't know.
All right. A couple hygiene factors here. This is the how it works slide. I only know that because I spent time on here. The reason I don't know that is because this slide doesn't say how it works.
Yeah.
On every single slide in the top left corner, you have to say the name of the slide. In this case, how it works. Problem, solution, market size, whatever the name of the slide, top left corner, it has to say the name of the slide. It's an indexing factor. But let's pretend it said it, right?
Okay, I'm going to fix it right away for this founder. And
write it with your mouse?
I'm literally going to go how it works here. Okay, here we go.
Amazing. All right. Perfect. Well done, Ed. Nailed it. Problem solved.
I love it.
Ed to the rescue every time. And a designer to boot. So the how it works here, Ed, we need to open up by reminding people what the problem the user had is in step one. Yeah. Right. So in this case, it would be some factor of user is trying to reduce their costs. User is stuck with this manual process. This gnarly mess. That's step one. Step two is service comes in and automatically automates all the code, streamlines all the code. Step three is customer's bill goes down by 30% because all this code is now streamlined. Yes. That's how it works.
Okay, but let's go to step zero. And I got other questions for you, Will. For step zero, explain for the audience, because I think it's so simple how it works. This is how it works. But explain to us the purpose of a how it works slide, right from basic elementary.
Yeah. Okay, here's what it isn't. Here's the how it works isn't. It's not an instruction manual, right? Ed, here's what we get. And I understand because how it works is the words are deceiving. They're like, oh, well, you want an instruction manual, which I get, right? Here's what we get. And Ed, tell me if this sounds familiar. Step one, go to our website. Step two, create an account. Step two, click on the dashboard. Step three, and it's like, no, I mean, again, I get it. Everyone understands that you're supposed to create an account. Everyone understands that you're supposed to go to the website. That's not what we're asking for. What we're asking you for is, in the end, how does the user get done what they're trying to do, right? And it always follows this cadence. The first step is always, what were they trying to accomplish? The second step is, what did they do with your product to accomplish it? And the third step is always, in what was the outcome? So applying that, let's go back to that slide, if you would, Ed.
Here we go.
The first step was, what were they trying to do? Their data warehouse code was a mess, right? And it was costing them a ton of money, right? That was the first step. Step two is, how did they use your product? They applied our AI, it rewrote all their messy code to streamline it. Step three was, and then how did it improve their product? Well, it streamlined how it ran in the data warehouse. And it saved them a ton of money because everything ran faster because they were billed per minute.
Now, let me add, so great basic foundation. So let me get a little more detailed. Let me add a couple things that founders can look for. This is, I think it'd be a fun slide for customers, right? Right on the website. It's that simple. Connect, turn it on, save money type thing. Save 30%. Five minutes or more can save you 50% on your car insurance or whatever that kitschy tagline is, right? But that's not, the investor does not care. The investor doesn't need that hype. Also, the second thing, and this is what I'm seeing, just because we process a lot of AI decks. I've seen a lot of AI decks. Everything's got AI attached to it.
Yep.
If you're going to AI wash something, I need to see just a little bit, not the whole technical, don't give me the whole kitchen sink, but I need to know where the AI, is it attached to an LLM? Is it accessing something proprietary? Does it analyze? You need to give me something different, because here's what I see, Will, and maybe you got a response as well. I just see that, AI fixes it, or AI fixes it. And I'm like,
magic wand.
That's not enough right now.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's talk about two layers of abstraction. Okay. The layer you get into in your pitch deck, which is, here is where the magic happens. Okay. So user applies our magic wand. I'm not going to stick with magic wand. Okay. Now at the pitch deck layer, you don't get a lot of explanation. I agree. You can't be too AI wash where you just say magic happens and then have no explanation, right? But you also can't get too detailed where you have this ridiculous Rube Goldberg style chart where you're trying to explain all of the schematics. Not the time for that. That second layer of abstraction, and Ed, you sat on the investor side for quite some time. That's where you're in diligence. That's where if somebody understands at a high level what it does, they'll say, hey, I'd like to pop open the hood and see what actually goes on under here.
Yeah.
That's a different discussion.
Let me tell you where this comes from. Well, it comes from my experience from blockchain white papers. Let's go back in time. So before, in the beginning,
a whole like, holy cow. Yeah.
But before, people used to be able to say, and we're putting it on blockchain. And that was enough for investors.
God. Don't let those guys drag you down, Ed.
Until every founder and investors, we just got sick of it, where every founder, like someone would say, okay, we're building a new blockchain protocol. And believe me, 80% of my portfolio was blockchain for a while, right? And I believe that some of it worked out, a lot of it didn't work out. And if you're building a new protocol, we're putting this on blockchain, great. I was a fan. But then slowly, as the markets start to saturate, If someone just said we're putting it on blockchain because we're putting it on blockchain, I was like, that's not enough. And therefore, founders had to separate themselves just a little bit more in those introductory decks and tell us exactly how they plan to go on blockchain without killing us with all the tech.
Oh my God, Ed. I mean, come on. That is a whole subculture unto itself, right?
But the pattern repeats itself, Will, and we're going to see this over and over and over again, right?
Yeah. Fair.
So, all right.
So what I'm saying for the purposes of the deck, you can't go too deep, right? Because most people aren't going to take that extra step. For those that do, you welcome, that query, and you like, oh my God, you want to talk more about this? Let's nerd out and go deep. But you don't get to do it on this slide because most people are going to be like, yeah, okay, I assume it works. Let's move on.